Hello everyone and welcome to Magical Me. I'm Jamie Mendez and this is my Moonday reading for the week of March 9th, 2026. And this is a generalized reading for the collective, just to give us a little bit of insight into the energy of the week and any divine wisdom that we can best receive that can help us navigate the energy of the week. Just as a way of giving us a little bit of I guess you could say, giving us the awareness to understand how we can best move in divine flow with the energy versus moving against the current, if you will. So these are not individualized personal readings that I'm doing here for everyone. I am not doing individual card pulls, although I do offer personalized readings. You can always reach out to me, send me a message, and we can set up or go over the different types of readings that I offer and how we can get that scheduled and set up. Readings with me normally are $60 for 30 minutes, and you can opt in for either a pre-recorded video reading that you could watch in your own time. So essentially just tell me what it is that you are looking for more insight into, and I connect with your higher self to receive the best possible information for you pertaining only to your own highest and greatest good. And then I send that reading over to you, or I also have Zoom readings available as well to do them a little bit more in live time, if you will. So just giving people a few moments here to connect. If you are tuning in at this time, just let me know if you can hear me okay, how the connection is, if everything is okay on your end. I do have an announcement to make with a new offer that I have actually. But again, as I said, this reading is more of a generalized overview for all of us and what we all need to know as a collective moving through this energy this week. The personal cards readings, like I said, you can always reach out to me, but I do also have a new reading offer that I am doing at this time. So I love connecting with the energy of the Wheel of the Year. I always have. Those of my students who have worked with me in the past with my Spiral Temple, I've brought in energy of connecting us with the Wheel of the Year and the different seasons. And this month we have the magical, in the Northern Hemisphere, we have the vernal equinox or spring equinox, but to the ancients it was also known as the time of Ostara. And that's celebrated around or about March 20th, March 21st, also known as the first day of spring. In the Southern Hemisphere, it is a little different. It is the autumnal equinox, known as Mabon. So at this time, I'm actually offering an equinox reading. I've got the offer for Ostara currently posted on my page. And that's going to bring about information and insight into what energy is actually ready to be born at this time in your life, where your renewal or rebirth is happening, where you can best embrace prosperity in your life. So it's a really powerful reading to receive at this time, especially as we are moving towards the energy of the equinox. And so for those in the Southern Hemisphere, I will be offering a Mabon one as well at the same time. I just have not gotten around to actually posting that on my page just yet. But if you're interested in that, you can always shoot me a message. But the Ostara reading, again, it's going to focus on giving you insight into where your rebirth is happening, what you might need to even potentially let go of in order to embrace growth, or where growth is actually trying to occur within your life. And again, where your energy, I guess you could say, is best placed to attain that prosperity that is available to you. So I'll be working with a Ostara themed deck for this reading, and you will also receive a activity that you can do to embrace or connect your energy more into the energy of the season. And it will also help to bring about your own intentions and what you can do to work with that. And seeing those come into manifest reality. So for $60, you'll receive a 30-minute pre-recorded reading for the season of Ostara and what all that entails and what that focus is for you. And also that activity that I spoke of for you to be able to do in your own time, but you will receive step-by-step instructions and a list of ingredients that you'll need for it. So if you're interested for more details, it is posted on my page under the Ostara reading offer. All right. So with that said, getting into Moonday. So this is a really, I should say, a significant week that we have here because it's a powerful shift occurring. Last week we had the full moon equinox. Not full moon equinox, I'm sorry, full moon eclipse. And that in itself was creating a very powerful transition for us all. But this week we have the blessing of planet Jupiter actually finally going direct in the sign of Cancer. It has been retrograde in Cancer for around about 4 months. So there's been a lot of deep diving into those areas of which Cancer rules over. But when you have a retrograde, it kind of asks you to reflect. It gives you the opportunity to go back down and dive deep into those areas. Cancer rules over, and I should say this zodiac sign Cancer, and it doesn't matter again if this is your sign or not, it still influences you because we have all of the zodiacs in our charts, and some of us have different planets in those signs as well. So again, we're all being influenced by this energy, just some of us differently. But Cancer does rule over home, family, connections, emotional security, and our relationships, how we relate, any maybe even emotional themes or currents that have kind of been running a little bit of the show in our lives, and how we may have been being really affected by those emotions that needed to be acknowledged or needed to be worked through, needed to be healed. So Jupiter being a planet of expansion, it expands everything it touches. So where we still have it in the sign of Cancer, it's now actually going to be moving forward instead of what appeared to be moving backwards when we have a retrograde, right? So that kind of gives us a slowdown period. It's an opportunity to reflect, to dive into something, to dissect it, to work through it. Then we have the growth that can occur when that planet does shift direct. And that's exactly what's happening the 10th or 11th, depending upon where you are in the world. So beautiful energy coming in as it is expanding on those areas with helping us to now get moving forward. It's got the growth energy there. It's got luck. Jupiter is also known as the planet of good luck and blessings and abundance and prosperity. So really good sign when we've got forward movement in that area, especially pertaining to all of those areas that Cancer rules, like I said, emotions, relations, emotional security, and where do we feel most secure? This is going to be energy that facilitates our ability to look at things clearer now, to see those currents with different eyes, and to better be able to have a grasp on what does bring us more security, what does help us to feel more emotionally stable, and what we might need to continue to help that grow and thrive. So it's helping to bring that about, if you will, in our lives so we can feel that. And it's not just this week, but we'll be able to feel it. Obviously, it's going to be direct in the sign for a little while, so we'll be able to feel that, I should say, most strongly this week. So make the best of that. Be mindful of that. Be aware. Having the awareness of understanding how it's affecting you is going to help you move and flow with it. And maybe it helps you to finally come back to those things that you maybe set aside. Maybe those things, those goals that you, put on the back burner, or maybe just lost momentum. This is a time where momentum is going to start being picked up again, so you can feel maybe a little bit more inspired, a little bit more motivated to pick the ball back up and run with it. All right. So with that said, I just want to make sure anybody tuning in can actually hear me, because I'm not seeing any comments. And when that happens, I feel like sometimes, the Facebook Live tends to glitch. So if you're tuning in, just shoot me a message and let me know if you can hear me okay. If you are commenting and I'm not seeing them, start shooting some thumbs up, and that will help me see that there is something happening here. I'm going to try to push through and keep doing the message regardless for us. It's funny because I wanted to work with my B Tarot today, but something kind of felt like I wanted to work with two decks. And what happened when I was actually shuffling to clear out the energy of my B Tarot before I went live, two cards flipped out. I picked them up and put them back in the deck, started clearing the energy again. Two cards flew back out. They were the same exact two cards. So clearly want to be heard. Still going to work with my other deck because I like to actually shuffle on camera. I will be showing you the cards that came out before I even set the intention of what I wanted to know. But I'm going to share them with you because I do feel like it was part of our message. But I'm still going to shuffle my deck and see what comes forward for us all. Oh, good. Hi, Laura. Hi, Sandra. Welcome. Thanks for being here, ladies. I appreciate that. Glad you can hear and everything is okay. Good. I'll proceed then. So the weather has shifted, and I know that both of you ladies are local to me, so it kind of aligns with what I was just saying about the wheel moving forward or momentum picking up, where we may have had some standstill, some things that were put on a back burner, some things that we maybe let go, where we were feeling like maybe there was no forward movement, a little stuck. We even feel it with the energy shift, or with the weather shift, I should say, as it's been absolutely beautiful here the last 2 days, and I think it's supposed to continue for the next couple of days, and it's March, so that's absolutely not normal for us whatsoever. This might be what they consider a full spring, but I will take it. I will take it. I love that it's bringing us warmth during the week of Jupiter moving into this deeply emotional sign. So, hi, Emily. Welcome and thank you for being here. I'm going to go ahead and get into it. Anything that I said that you missed, if you just now tuning in, I did put out an offer for a new reading that I'm doing. You can check that back out on the replay once this is done airing. Also, you can check that offer out on my page for the Ostara reading that I'm offering. Okay. All right. So first, before I show you the two B cards that flew out of the tarot deck that I was going to use, I set them aside just because I like to shuffle on camera. Like I said, I'm actually working with my Jane Austen Oracle first, just to do a little shuffling here for you, and then I'll show you those cards that just absolutely want to be heard. So, all right, everybody, just gonna have you take a nice deep breath in with me. And as you do, going to start to soften your shoulders while blowing the breath back out of your mouth. Just resetting our energy here, bringing ourselves back into centered state, grounding our energy. Take another deep breath in through your nose. And as you release that breath, I'm just going to have you clear your mind and just come into the space of here and now. Of my magical fur babies below chiming in to help us out here, huh? All right, we'll let them pass through that before we move on here. They must have found recognized one of their fellow peoples or tribe members walking down the street, because I think the windows are open down there. Howling here. I think I have a pack of wolves down there. All right. I'll take it. Magical sound vibration there, right? Okay, so again, nice deep breath in through your nose. Coming into your heart space, softening your shoulders, softening your back, releasing your breath, placing your hand upon your heart, dropping out of your mind and coming into your feeling center. Feeling yourself relax and opening to receive divine guidance, wisdom, and insight from the source of all love, from the cosmic heart source. We ask to receive divine guidance, wisdom, and insight into the energy of this week, March 9th, 2026, what we all most need to know as a collective for our highest and greatest good only. All right, so what guidance comes forward? What do we need to know about? All right, we had a flipper here. Confide in somebody. Oh, that just gave me chills, by the way, all up my arms. Friendship is certainly the best balm for the throes of unrequited love. So this is a quote from Jane Austen's Northanger Abbey book or novel, and it's a number 7, so 16. But number 7 numerically, so we take the vibration of that, which speaks to me, this number 7 is always a spiritual connection. It's connecting into the spiritual versus the physical realm. And to me, it's talking a lot about like what's going on in our mind and what's coming up with those emotions, like I touched on in regards to what Jupiter retrograde in Cancer has been doing for us over the last 4 months. Now, confiding in a friend doesn't necessarily mean it needs to be a secret. It doesn't mean it needs to be emotional, but it can be bouncing something off of someone in regards to like a soundboard as well. Like maybe so one thing that I like to tell people is that it's one thing to set intentions in our minds about goals, about ideas, about what we want to manifest, but it's important for us to get it out of our minds in some way, which is that number 7, it's that spiritual or what's still in the ethers, not yet physical number. And so taking it and either writing it down on a piece of paper and putting it out that way, as far as setting your intentions on paper, that's a great way to make it concrete, to make it in the physical. Another way to do that is to actually communicate it, to express it physically somehow. And speaking to someone that is a safe space, someone who may be able to actually receive your insight, and someone who might be able to, one, just act as a soundboard. Because like for me, for example, when I have dreams, when I just try to dissect those dreams and what they're meaning in my mind, I don't see it as much. Versus when I actually speak it out loud to someone, or when I type it in a message to someone, or even when I type it up and write it up for myself to look back on, I all of a sudden begin to actually start seeing an entire landscape or story start to play out, and it begins to actually make much more sense to me. So I feel like communicating to others, one, will help you to better strategize if you are putting something out there and intentions wise, if you're having some ideas about things that you want to begin to bring to life, right? It could also be, one, I do think it's important to make sure, when I said safe space, it's someone who your ideas are safe with. Because not everybody's writing for you guys. Not everybody, some people secretly get a little bit jealous when you speak about things, even if they don't realize they're doing it. That's a form of psychic attack, because it's actually putting negative energy toward your intentions. All right. Another thing is, some people actually, they like to take your ideas and make them their own. So just be mindful of who you are sharing your stuff with. And now this goes into even like your emotional things that might have been coming up. This is the week where we want the movement forward to happen. So I wouldn't be surprised if there are some lasting opportunities or emotions that are actually coming up a little intensely, or opportunities where you might be faced with some repressed emotional things that are going to give you the opportunity to get it out. It's almost like the coming to a head of sorts, and it can do so in a constructive way versus a volatile way, right? So it's a really good opportunity to maybe share what's been coming forward. Whether it's just something that you're dealing with from, a long time ago. I find it very interesting that this message comes forward because, one, it does speak to that you're not alone in dealing with whatever it is that you might be feeling or experiencing, but also that the universe is telling you, like, this is a way for you to actually release this, to get this out, to whether it be for something that you're trying to create, intend, or whether it's something that's been emotionally bottled up. And in order for your growth to happen, the universe, your higher self, is sharing insight that, hey, this is what's coming forward. This is part of your growth. in order for you to be able to move forward, you've got to share this stuff. You've got to express this stuff in some way. So it might be important for you to just chime in about feelings. Maybe there was something that happened a long time ago, and maybe you never fully expressed how something made you feel. Maybe you just want to talk to a friend about something that you're ready to finally come to terms with in yourself. Even if they're there just to listen and don't have any actual advice or input to give you, or they don't need to be there to make it better. It's just it's a soundboard. It's an outlet for you to just express. All right. I actually find this so interesting because this is quite a busy week for me. And even though it's a busy work week for me, it's busy socially for me in the sense that I actually have 3 lunches with either friends or family members this week, which is like, it does that, that in itself doesn't happen very often. And then for it to all happen this week. So it's all opportunity. We're all getting together just to catch up, just to reconnect, get back onto, like the same page, seeing each other, just because you don't often get that opportunity, right? But I have 3 in 1 week. So this card is like blowing my mind in that way right now. So friendship is certainly the best balm for throes of unrequited love. So to me, that just means where you may have had an experience where, something didn't happen as you hoped it would again, or you're just dealing with some things that you maybe have just been keeping to yourself. It's time for you to express those and let those out. This way, the healing, the growth, and your forward movement can happen as Jupiter also begins to move forward for us in the sign of Cancer this week. So, seeing shifts of energy in our home life, in our relationships, be they friendship or romantic, be they family, seeing it in areas once again where we may have not felt there was, like, again, emotional security, anything that made us feel emotionally unstable. These are things to actually express, communicate, or even just write down on paper if you don't have a safe space to share that with. Writing it down somewhere on paper and just kind of really expressing how those things made you feel, right? So those other cards that came flying out of my B deck before I even went live, I want to share them. The very first one, they came in this exact order, was the Hanged Man. So in the the Hanged Man is considered a major arcana card. Major arcanas are there's only, out of 78 cards, there's 22 majors. The majors represent essentially our journey, right? What they call the fool or the hero's journey. And our journey of big pivotal points or moments in our timelines. And the Hanged Man is an opportunity for us to step back to, it's almost like somebody was, like, if you look here, this person may have been walking along, not really paying attention, it's moving in one direction, and stepped on this, let's say, rope or some sort of, like, string or rope here. They stepped on it, foot got caught up, and it pulled them upside down and hung them or suspended them from the tree. In the stories, the tree is actually meant to represent the world tree, the tree of knowledge, the tree of life, tree of wisdom. It gives us this opportunity to suspend us in time. That's what this week might feel a little bit like, whereas we're moving from reverse into forward, right? We're in this liminal space. And that's why I feel like that message about confiding or getting those emotions out in some way, or even the intentions of what you're trying to create, doesn't have to be about emotional stuff. It could be what helps you also create security to feel safe, right? What might you be working on? How might you create more security in your life in other areas? Be it maybe wanting to start a new job, maybe wanting to walk a new career path, maybe a new relationship, maybe letting go of an old one. You see what I'm saying? So security can come in many different forms, not just our old emotional things, right? But it's what's going to help us to feel secure and emotionally safe as we journey forward into a new timeline, into a new reality. So here's this person walking along, gets tripped up, pulled up, suspended, and now it's also you could see here, the bees from the hives have actually all almost like created this cocoon around it, which to me means they're keeping him safe. Not necessarily stinging. His eyes are closed. He looks, and there's a bee on his third eye, which almost gives me the feeling like he's sleeping or even meditating. It's giving you the opportunity this week to step back and look at things from a different perspective. That's what the hangman represents, really. It's suspending you upside down, which now means that if you open your eyes to look, the world looks very different from where you are, correct? You now see things in a different way, but it gives you the opportunity to see things that you weren't able to see before. So lots of opportunity for epiphany moments and revelations this week about situations and why maybe they unfolded the way that they did. And now it's an opportunity for you to maybe see how maybe the path you were walking on, you were suspended in time because you weren't meant to continue walking on that path. Maybe it is time for you to reevaluate the direction in which you were moving, and those bees surrounding you, one, activating that third eye chakra is giving you the ability to see things differently, to see things clearly that you weren't able to before. And it's giving you the opportunity to look at the other possibilities now that are presenting to you from this different vantage point. So that when you get put back down, you aren't in the same, you aren't facing the same direction that you were before. And with those bees there, it definitely makes me feel like how they work for the good of all, how they work together. They're creating this almost like how you get cocooned and then come back out looking like something completely different. So that in itself, pretty powerful message there. A major arcana coming forward is a very big deal to stop and pay attention. All right. Then the card that came along with that was the Eight of Wands. This is absolutely the momentum we were waiting for. The Eight of Wands, wands are all about our passions. They're about our fire. They're about our path, the direction in which we were moving on, which had to do with our inspiration. Now ask yourself, is the path that I have been moving on, am I passionate about that? Does it inspire me? Am I inspired to continue to walk on that path, or am I just walking on that path because this is the path I have to walk? That's not the path that you have to walk. The path you have to walk is the one that lights you up, is the one that fires you up. And sometimes that means walking away from what's not lighting you up, all right? When the Eight of Wands comes forward, eights are all about having strength and courage. They are about being vulnerable, but doing it anyway, right? Because that's what gives us our true strength, is to be uncomfortable, to be unfamiliar. And that seven that had come forward too was a number about taking a leap of faith, trusting in what you don't see, what you don't know, but just trusting that it's going to work itself out no matter what. You just have to follow that call, even if there's no guarantee, even if you can't fully see what it looks like on the other side. Then with that eight coming forward, it's telling you that this is a time for you to be strong, to step forward. But also, the magic is already working. Because when the Eight of Wands presents, it's fast. It's showing you, look at the wands all moving in one direction. Look at them all. It's almost like they're flying off in that forward movement, in the forward direction here. Lots of pink, which definitely makes me feel like following our hearts. Also, potentially for some of us, this could be in regards to love and romance and things picking up. We've got Venus in the fire sign of Aries, which is all about passion as well. So there's lots of passionate energy, new things sparking. It's just really guiding you to follow your heart. But also, when the Eight of Wands comes forward, it often speaks of news coming in. Something coming forward to move you in the direction that maybe once upon a time you started, and maybe for whatever reason you let it go. Maybe doubt, maybe emotions, maybe life caught you up, maybe there was insecurities in some way or another. Now this is time where it's time for you to see you. It's time for you to believe that you're worthy. It's time for you to believe that you deserve this, to put the energy, because a lot of times I feel like that's what stops us. Why we drop the ball in some areas is because we think, well, who am I? Maybe I'm not capable enough to do this. Maybe I'm not credible enough. But this is your sign that yes, you are. The universe has seen you and is now answering, and is not only has it carried your unintended or intended wishes out into the universe, it's now delivering. So this week is going to show not only a massive shift in forward movement, but it's also going to bring you opportunities to see them through, to follow forward. So good news, blessings, or opportunities coming forward for you to change direction. The importance here in this message is that you do the work, is that you believe it. You believe in yourself. You believe it's possible. You expect it, right? Expect it because you know it's already part of your reality. But doing that internal work was so important, all right? That emotional work we talked about in the beginning of the reading, so important. So, absolutely, in order for all of that to happen, confide in a friend. Whether or not confide in somebody who is a safe space for you with either your new ideas, your dreams, get them out into the universe, get them heard by the universe so that they are physical now, right? You've set it in motion in that way. But also anything that might be just needing to be dealt with, anything that's still like, I've been having these dreams and now look at, I know what these dreams are representing because there's these things, emotion-wise that I maybe was suppressing. Maybe things that I thought were over and done with, I never actually really fully processed. Maybe it's time for me to acknowledge those things because I don't want there to be anything holding me back from this shift in momentum, right? So suspended with the hangman in time gives you the opportunity, step back, reflect, take a look at what is, take a look at what's coming up, take a look at what you're feeling, and dissect that, dive into that, share that, do what needs to be done because we don't want anything to block the growth that's naturally trying to unfold. All right. Hi, Eleanor. Hello, Lynette. Welcome, and thank you for being here. There was a lot of information shared, so definitely check back the replay after this is done airing. And also, there's a brand new reading offer on my page as well for Ostara. Check that out. Laura says, so needed to hear this message. My path I'm on is what I desire, and I feel they will all work out. Yes, and that's a great thing. I'm glad that you commented that, Laura, because if the path that we're on, we do truly feel like it is what we desire, but maybe for whatever reason it got stopped up, right? I know that I've been there myself where I'm like, but I thought this was what I was supposed to be doing. I thought I was following what felt intuitively right or, right in my heart. And then it just comes to a standstill. Or then let's say, for example, people aren't signing up for, your classes, or maybe the job's not calling you back. Maybe thought you were doing it and something stopped. It's because in order for you to get there, there was stuff here that needed to be dealt with, here and here, right? So emotional, mental beliefs or thoughts, old cycles, things that just needed to be like, okay, we can take you so far, and you got to step back and do the work, right? And that pushes you forward even more. So it's not that you, and for anybody, it's not that you were not walking on the right path. It was just that maybe you got so far on the path and then it was time to step back and do some internal work to clear the rest of the way in order for the rest of what's for you to flow back to you. Okay. All right, everybody. I hope that you've enjoyed our messages for the week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope that you are, wherever you are able to actually get outside and enjoy some beautiful weather. And I hope that it is beautiful wherever you are, regardless of the weather. Have a blessed and magical week. Take care.